Hi everybody, welcome to the next video. So in this video I will talk about CleverControl alternatives and Wolfeye versus CleverControl for live screen monitoring. Yeah. So I will do this video in a slow fashion because I made uh, some small script here and we'll read it a bit. So I hope you're you're patient with me. So let's start. So if you are looking for an employee monitoring software, then you have probably come across CleverControl. And if your main goal is to see the screens of your company computers remotely, you might also be wondering how CleverControl, so here you see this, the website of CleverControl, how CleverControl compares with Wolfeye software, which also is a computer monitoring, an employee monitoring software. Yeah, so in this video, I want to give you a simple and a fair comparison. CleverControl and Wolfeye can both provide screen visibility, but they approach employee monitoring very, very differently. So let us start with CleverControl. Yeah. So CleverControl is a comprehensive employee monitoring platform. As you see here, you can visit us on clevercontrol.com. And as you can see directly on the website, they offer um, live screen view, just as Wolfeye, automatic screen recordings, application, website and chat tracking, dashboards, reports, very important reports, and several other monitoring functions. And I want to make one thing clear from the beginning. As you see here in this list of features, CleverControl offers significantly more monitoring features than Wolfeye. So the first fact that we can say is that if you need a complete employee monitoring suite with detailed activity tracking, with reports and many different monitoring modules, that can be a real advantage to use CleverControl. Yeah. So one feature that is particularly interesting here in CleverControl for this comparison is live viewing. CleverControl allows you to see an employee's screen remotely, and they have also introduced a multi-screen mode, yeah, where you can see and view several employee screens on one page. Let me see if I, no, wait. Here you basically see, I don't know how to come here to the, let me see if I say my name and, oh, wait. Try demo. Does he allow me to try the demo? Yes, okay. So let us continue the live screen, live viewing. I open the live view, and this is how you see it. You see? So of computers here, yeah. So this is a multi-screen mode where you can view several employee screens on one page. Can you see this? Yeah, offline, for all the employees. This is a big monitoring suite, a lot of information and reports you will get here. Yeah. So this makes CleverControl a real competitor to Wolfeye. We will see in a minute how Wolfeye looks like when the main requirement is live screen monitoring. But there's an important difference in philosophy. In CleverControl, live screen monitoring is only one feature inside a much larger employee monitoring platform. Yeah, with Wolfeye, the live screen monitoring is essentially the center of the product, but of course we also have screenshot history and a very, very basic report that lets you know when the employee started work and when he finished work and how many hours he did during the days. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So you have user activities. Yeah, it's a very, very, very full employee monitoring software that records a lot of things. These are the screenshot history. Yeah. Let me see. And now you see one disadvantage of, no, I don't want to say disadvantage, but one thing. If you have a lot of data that you record, and that you upload and record, then it could be that dashboards loading is heavier, takes website visitors. Let's see the website. This is how it looks like. You also have websites visited, search queries. So you can come to CleverControl and see how it looks like here. And one thing is screen recording. So it's small videos that are made. Let's go to screen. Here you have small videos. So there's a lot of data. This is a software that records on your company's computer, records a lot of data and sends it to the server there. And if you need that, then CleverControl is the way to go. Okay. So let's take a quick look at the pricing. Here's the pricing. CleverControl has different plans depending on the features you need. And at the time that I'm recording this video, the Pro plan starts at around $6.50 per computer per month with annual billing. And the Pro plan is the relevant one for this comparison because it includes screen recording and live monitor. And basically that's what also Wolfeye has to offer. And it's the focus of Wolfeye. So you can expect a very stable experience with Wolfeye because that's the core basically. Of course, pricing can the standard price is cheaper, of course, but live monitor is part of Pro and pricing can change. So I recommend checking the current CleverControl website by yourself if you are interested in uh, in CleverControl. So CleverControl is actually competitively priced. This comparison is therefore not simply about saying that one product is cheaper than the other. The big question is, do you want a complete monitoring suite, or do you mainly prefer a need and want a simple way to see your company computers live, remotely, on your browser, on a grid, and you will see it, that runs very stable, that only collects the minimum amount of data, and that does not store any data on the server of Wolfeye, because every screenshot or every screenshotted data that it's sent to the server is always replaced by the new screenshot. So no historization whatsoever, except the historization that you enabled, and even then it removes. So the focus is stability, live screen, as little as data as possible. So let's go to Wolfeye. This is wolfeye.co. This is Wolfeye. Basically, in a dashboard like this, you will see the live computer screens. So Wolfeye takes a much more focused approach. Instead of trying to track every possible employee activity, or let's go to the dashboard directly. This is the demo dashboard. You will receive a dashboard like this. Here you see the download link in your dashboard. You can change the dashboard grid to 5 columns or to 4 columns, and the standard default is 3 columns. And for each computer you install it, basically, you will see the live computer screen of that particular computer. So for Frank, this is the live screen. Here, this is a demo. That's why you only see demo pictures. In reality, you will see the live screen for each computer you install Wolfeye. And if you wanted to take a closer look at one of the screens, you just click on Maria, for example, and it opens in a new tab for Maria's screen, live screen, so to speak. So instead of trying to track every possible employee activity, Wolfeye is mainly designed around one simple question. What is happening on my computer and on my company's computer right now? So you install Wolfeye on the Windows computers that your company manages, and then you can see those computers remotely through your browser, the live screen, so to speak. So this is the main Wolfeye dashboard, as you see, and instead of going through different activity reports, you can immediately see multiple computers in one overview can also take a closer look here by clicking on the name, or you also have the option to see the screenshot history. You have to enable it. You click it, the history screen opens. You can even download all the pictures in zip file to your local computer if you wanted to. Yeah. So you can use the grid as a kind of visual radar. Yeah? If one screen is interesting, you open that computer and look at the individual screen in more detail. Here, for example, yeah. Again, this is dummy picture. In reality, you see the live screen. Yeah. And so this is what Wolfeye is really built around, and that's the reason why it runs extremely, extremely stable. And live screen means, by the way, it's a screenshot updated every 2 to 3 seconds. Yeah? Simple live screen visibility across multiple companies' computer. That's what Wolfeye does. So here's the screenshot history. For each computer you monitor, you can see screenshot history if you enable it. So Wolfeye also includes this screenshot history. So if you don't only want to see what is happening right now, you can optionally review previous screenshots as well. So you can check at the end of the day what has been done on the company's computers. But Wolfeye deliberately does not try to become a huge workforce analytics platform. That's not the goal of Wolfeye. You don't get dozens of reports, extensive web analytics, chat monitoring, and all the other modules you see in products like CleverControl. And depending on what your computer needs, that can either be a limitation or an advantage. Yeah, this is important to understand. So this is CleverControl. So who should choose CleverControl? If you want detailed employee activity monitoring, website and application tracking, chat monitoring, reports, screen recordings, and live viewing in one larger platform, then CleverControl probably makes more sense for you. Yeah? That could mean that for each computer you install CleverControl, much more data is being recorded and sent to the server, and saved to the server. You should know that. If that's what you need, choose CleverControl. Makes more sense. You're getting a much broader monitoring suite. But Wolfeye.co, if your requirement is much simpler, if you mainly want to open your browser and see what is happening on several company computers, for example, from your smartphone also, because the smartphone has a browser, then Wolfeye might be the more focused alternative, very stable, that does not collect a lot of information and does not store almost nothing. And you don't have to pay attention to dozens of monitoring modules if you don't need them. So open the dashboard, like here, Wolfeye, see the screens, the live screens, open an individual computer when necessary, like Frank. So see what's happening there. And optionally use screenshot history if you needed it by clicking this hist link. That's the idea behind Wolfeye. Yeah. Wolfeye pricing is also very, very simple. Let's go to pricing. For 5 or more PCs, the regular price is $80 per PC per year. That's about $6.67 per PC per month, paid annually. Yeah? So interestingly, the pricing for live screen monitoring is currently quite close to CleverControl Pro. This means I would not choose between the two products based on a few dollars. I would choose based on what you actually need. If you need the entire employee monitoring suite, CleverControl gives you much more functionality. If you primarily need live screen visibility and prefer a focused product, that's where Wolfeye becomes interesting. So let's go back to Wolfeye. The bottom line is simple. CleverControl is a broader product. Wolfeye is a more focused product. Neither approach is automatically better for every company. If your main requirement is live screen monitoring of company-owned Windows computers, I invite you to try